All right. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight at the April Town Hall for RAGBRAI 52. We'll give it a minute or so to get everybody in. Once again, we thank you all for joining us and spending some time this evening. It's been a big day. It's April 3rd, so full route was announced today, and got a lot of awesome stuff to share with you. So we'll just sit tight for about a minute or so and get as many people in, and then we'll get started. All right, we definitely are going to have a jam-packed evening, so we'll go ahead and start moving through everything. I'm Laura Rice, one of the event operations managers here at RAGBRAI, and we're super excited that everybody is joining us. We know you're excited to learn more about the route and all the things that the whole team has been working on in the last month or so. I know some of you will have registered ahead of time, but if you are just joining us, if someone shared the link with you and forwarded on, and you want to be able to submit questions via the Q&A, you do need to register. So you can register right now real quickly by scanning the QR code or going to the event on our Facebook page or on our website. And if you register, then you'll have access to the Q&A. We'll be pulling questions from that as we're able tonight, and then getting those answered with the Just Go Bike podcast as well if we're not able to address them this evening. So register, and then you can get into the Q&A. While we're also getting people in, if you do not get our monthly newsletter, you should. Once again, if you've got your phone handy, you can scan that QR code and get signed up, both for the monthly newsletter or for our merch newsletters and the Just Go Bike podcast newsletter. So lots of ways to stay in touch with RAGBRAI. You can also find that sign up on our website, ragbrai.com. As I mentioned, I'm Laura Rice, Event Operations Manager. We have our full team with us tonight. We've got Ann Laurie, our Cycling Director, Matt Phippen, Ride Director, Hayden Meister, Event Operations Manager, Corey Much, Graphic Designer, Erica Detterman, Registration and Merchandise Manager, and Andrea Parrott, Marketing Manager and Just Go Bike Podcast. And we've got two special guests with us tonight. We've got Daniel Harder and Stacy Ekman with Mr. Car Shipper to share more a little further down the line about what that partnership with Mr. Car Shipper and RAGBRAI looks like. All right, Erica, I'm going to hand it off to you for some registration and merchandise updates.
Thanks, Laura. Happy April, everybody. So we just had a price increase on the 1st of the month. And we just want to make sure everybody's aware that we'll have one more price increase before the ride for our week-long riders, and then two more for those day passes. So if you see something and you're excited about the route, go ahead and make sure you get that day pass at that cheapest price when you know you want to register. And then our refund policy is listed there below. Any registration information can be found at ragbrai.com/registration. And of course, I always want to mention that registration packets will be shipped out starting in June, and they're going to ship directly to registered riders this year. They used to ship to teams, so they're going to go directly to you and not your team captain. And with the full route reveal, we do have some fun new LII merchandise. So go ahead and take a look at our store. It's shop.ragbrai.com. You can see we just came out with a pint glass for this year, and then a mug, as well as our fun stickers are back in stock. And then we also are doing a really awesome April Fool's It's Not a Joke sale. So if you're looking for some of those outlet tent prices, go ahead and check out our sale right now to get that price at the best, get that sale at the best price this year.
Awesome. Thank you, Erica. I'm going to throw it over to Daniel and Stacy to share more about what Mr. Car Shipper is. You know, we've mentioned it a few times in this town hall. They are listed on our logistics page online, but they can tell you more about what this partnership looks like since it's something new. And if you have a question, go ahead and drop it in the Q&A. And at the end, we'll take a couple minutes and answer your questions about how Mr. Car Shipper can make RAGBRAI easier for you.
Well, hey, everybody. We're glad to be here tonight. We're actually in Guttenberg right now, scouting out the location that RAGBRAI has given us to operate for you guys. And so we're excited to be here and be here in this meeting with you. Mr. Car Shipper has been around since 2013. We do what our name says. We ship cars. We specialize in shipping predominantly in the consumer market with people who are moving across the country, moving a couple states away. They have a vehicle they can't drive. We take care of that for them. We really try to focus hard on our client experience and make sure it's a positive one. And we do that mostly by being honest and upfront with everybody, trying to have awesome communication, and then of course educate on the process, because most people haven't shipped a vehicle before. We actually found out about RAGBRAI through one of our employees who's done RAGBRAI, I think about 5 times. I think this year might be his 6th time or 5th time, I'm not sure. But he works for us, and he said, hey, RAGBRAI is this awesome thing. So I wanted to give a shout out to Tate. He's in the room with us tonight. We're glad that he helped us discover you guys, because RAGBRAI, as we've gotten to know RAGBRAI and what it's all about, it's been really fun to get to know you, and we're excited to partner with you this year. So quickly, what are we going to do for RAGBRAI? Well, we know that obviously the ride starts at one end of the state and goes to the other, and then you get to the end of the state and it's like, okay, I got to get back. I got to get to my life. What are we going to do? How am I going to get a shuttle or have a friend take? And we want to be another option for you. So what that looks like is you drop your vehicle off with us in the start city in Orange City. And then throughout the week, we'll be transporting those vehicles all the way to Guttenberg, to a lot in Guttenberg. Your car stays in Orange City until it gets transported to Guttenberg. It stays there. The price that we are charging for that is all inclusive. So there's no additional parking fees or paying for the lot or anything like that. What you pay for us will take care of your vehicle the whole week. You leave your vehicles with, or your keys with us. We do need that in order to ship the vehicle, because the car has to drive onto a trailer and then back off of the trailer again. And really, we can ship any vehicle, any stock vehicle. So what that means really is just a normal vehicle that you buy in a lot: a car, a van, a truck, or an SUV. We can ship any of those in standard dimensions. If you're interested in shipping with us, on our next slide, there is a QR code that you can scan. It'll take you to our website, or you could just type in mrcarshipper.com/RAGBRAI, and you'll see all this information I'm going over. There's also an FAQ page at the top. There's a link. You can click on that, and it can answer any more questions that you have. You can see if your vehicle is a good fit or not. But basically, we can move any vehicle. Of course, with a bike rack, if it's a trailer hitch type rack, we'd ask you to take that off and put that inside the vehicle for transport. But really, we can move any normal vehicle. And that price for that will be $649, and that's per vehicle. So if you are carpooling with somebody, you can split that cost again amongst everybody who's in that vehicle. It's just $649 for the vehicle. And that is kind of the quick overview of what it is. It's start to finish, like I said, start in Orange City, and it'll be here for you in Guttenberg. There also will be some shuttles around Orange City that can take you from our lot after you drop the vehicle off and take you back where you need to go, as well as at the end in Guttenberg, trying to make that process as easy for you as we can. And I think that's about it. Did I anything to share, Stacy? Anything I forgot?
I think you covered it really well. And like Daniel said, there's a great FAQ page on our website as well, because that's a lot of information to take in all at once. And then also our contact information is there if you had any specific questions about your vehicle or your specific circumstances.
Yeah. If you have a question, you can email us. That email is on that website, and that comes to me. I'll be the one answering it.
Awesome. Yeah, I know we've been getting a lot of questions about how do I get back to the start? How do I get to where my car is? But this obviously is just one option for everybody to consider, where you can drive your own car to the start. You have all your stuff, you've got your bikes, everything's good to go. Leave your car with Mr. Car Shipper, and then it's waiting for you at the end. So you don't have to figure out a shuttle or what those logistics are in between. So if you're still looking to look at those details, yeah, definitely check that out. They are also, like I mentioned, listed on the new logistics page on our website, so you can link to it from there as well. All right. Well, I guess this is the headliner of the evening, what everybody has been waiting for. We're going to turn it over to Matt to talk about the full route. And then if anybody has just joined us in the last few minutes, we are recording this and we'll get it posted to YouTube in its entirety as well a little later. But Matt, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Laura. Hello, everyone. Today has been a big day, a very busy day. For those of you that don't know, we are sitting in Forest City at the Winnebago facility because we had all our pass-through and meeting towns come to this community today and tomorrow to discuss what their plans look like for RAGBRAI in July. At 7 o'clock this morning, our route was released, and no, it's not an April Fool's. There's some things that we're going to talk about here shortly that will be something brand new that we're super excited about. But here is the full route. Obviously, you can see we start in Orange City and we end in Guttenberg, but big change this year and something we've never done is we're intentionally going to go into Minnesota. We've had riders over the years make a wrong turn and end up in a different state. We're actually going to take the ride through Minnesota this year. So as we kind of dive in more, we'll break down that day. But super excited, 38 communities en route this year with a park. But based on social media, it's been very, very well received. The towns that were here today, I was very impressed with how engaged they were and excited to soak all the information in to then be able to go back to their communities and start working to prepare for you guys showing up in July. So that is the overview of the entire route. We'll dive in day by day. So day 0, we'll start in Orange City. This will be the tire dip day. And obviously, if you look at the map, you can see that we are not close to a river. So Orange City will bring the river to you. They will have troughs filled up with water that you will be allowed to dip in that community that day. They're also going to be running a shuttle service that will take you, if you want to ride your bike to the water and physically dip, they'll be able to do that. So you can go to their Orange City Facebook page and check that out. But that'll be our full expo that Laura and this team has been working very hard on to kick off the official route as we roll out on Sunday. Day 1, Orange City to Milford, 71.8 miles. This will be a day we'll celebrate the Ride of Silence, which is how we remember Iowa cyclists that were killed on bicycles the previous year. That usually is around the first 5 to 10 miles as we leave the start town. But a 71.8 mile day, 1,500 feet of climb with a max grade of 2.9%. We have 4 communities en route this year, 10.7 miles into Granville. The last time we were there was 2017. 19.8 miles into Primgar. It'll be the longest stretch of the entire week. So if you're looking at stretches, this 19.8 mile stretch will be the longest part for the entire week. So as your legs are strong and ready to go, it should be pretty easy for you guys. Hartley will be our meeting town. So we'll travel 14.3 miles to Hartley. Both Primgar and Hartley hosted in 2017. But they will be the meeting town. And for those that don't know, a meeting town is that spot where your support vehicles can actually come in, pick up or drop off. It's the only spot on route we allow vehicles to kind of be close to bicycles. Leaving Hartley, we will travel 10.8 miles to May City. May City is a very small community. The last time we were there was 2014. And then we have a 16.2 mile stretch into Milford. As you know, our theme is Take Flight. So we worked kind of hard this year to find ways to route our ride through or by airport. So we will leave Orange City and travel past their airport. And as we get into Milford, a lot of you will be actually staying on almost to the, on airport property in Milford. So 2 airports will be en route. For this day, average distance between towns is 14.4 miles, which is the most distance between towns for the entire week. So it only gets better as we move on. But this will be a great first day for your riders. Day two. Day two is a pretty exciting day for us. Like I said earlier, we've never gone to another state, and this year we're going to go explore Minnesota. For over 5 decades, we have been all over the state of Iowa and been on some of the same roads that now we're in a spot where we're so close to Minnesota that, we feel that we need to go say hi and explore there. So we will leave Milford that morning. This is a shorter day, so it's a great day for new riders that want to experience RAGBRAI. 41.2 miles. Wappington will be the first town right out of the gates. This will be the first time this community has hosted. There'll be a park right on the side of the road that we'll go to. That is a 3.6 mile into the ride. So hopefully you guys can make that 3.6 miles to that first town. That'll be the breakfast community. We will then make our way to Brown Park. Brown Park will be in Jackson County, Minnesota. So no more Iowa. We're actually in Minnesota now, and we'll create a big festival area, kind of an oasis spot with some of our vendors. We're working behind the scenes to secure, vendors from Minnesota, partners from Minnesota. We've connected with Minnesota Sheriff, Minnesota DOT, the county, and now we're working through all the other back channels to make sure that we're set up good for you guys. After leaving Brown Park, we will make our way back towards Iowa. 14.3 miles to Superior. They're another town that has never hosted riders before, so they're super excited to show off what they have to offer. And then 8.1 miles into Esterville. So for the day, 41.2 miles, an easy stretch. This day will be Thin Line Appreciation Day. And for those that don't know, we're going to support all the thin lines that support us. So law enforcement, fire department, nurses, dispatch, military, federal agents, search and rescue, wounded warriors, EMS, and corrections. So if you're one of those members, we will support you that day and ride on behalf of you guys. Average distance between towns is 10.3 miles. So we've kind of learned that that's kind of the sweet spot for riders to make it across the state. And because the distance is so short that day, there'll be no meeting town that you'll be dropped off or picked up from a support vehicle. So this day is pretty cool. We've done a lot of press today, a lot of press tomorrow about this. So we look forward to taking our ride into another state. Day 3, Esterville to Forest City, 73.9 miles, 1,300 feet of climb, a max grade of 3.2%. We have 6 communities en route for you this year. We will leave Esterville and travel past their airport, head into Armstrong at 17.6 miles. It'll be the longest stretch of the day. Armstrong is a new town en route this year. Once we leave there, we'll move into Sway City, which is 9 miles away, another town brand new to RAGBRAI that will be hosting you. 11 miles down the road, Bancroft. For those that know, that's kind of where Mr. Porkchop hangs out. That's where he lives. So that's where, we're heading back there. Last time we were in this area was 2014. So they'll be en route. They'll be the meeting town. So like I said, that'll be the spot where you can get picked up or dropped off. From Bancroft, we'll head 12.6 miles down the road to Tatanka, 7.9 miles down the road to Woden, 6.5 miles down the road to Crystal Lake, and then 9.3 miles into Forest City. So another day, 70 plus miles, but the average distance between towns is 10.6 miles. This is also the day that we're looking at the Karis Loop Day. So if you're a looper that day, you'll be able to make the loop and use Woden and Crystal Lake as towns of support, twice. So you'll be able to leave, dip down, ride backwards, and then complete the loop and receive your patch. We'll have more information on that loop down the road. Day 4. Day 4 is I Ride For Day. This is a day that's very special to a lot of us in this room. We ride for different organizations. We ride for friends and family, and this is that one day we show it off. So if there's something that you have a passion about and you want to ride for it, this is the day to do it. So Forest City to Iowa Falls, 69.8 miles. Right now we have 5 communities en route. We will leave Forest City and make our way towards Ventura. Last time they hosted was 2017. Leaving Ventura, we will head to Missouri, 14.9 miles. Missouri last hosted in 1990. So if you're an oldie but goodie on this call, you'll remember that town. Leaving Missouri, we'll head down the road to Alexander, 7.3 miles. And then we're into two communities that have never hosted before. Latimer, which will be our meeting town, which is 8.6 miles from Alexander. And then Coulter, which is 1.8 miles from Latimer. So hopefully you guys can make that 2-mile stretch to get into Coulter. But two communities back to back that have not hosted. And then a little bit longer stretch of 18.7 miles into Iowa Falls, making this day 11.6-mile average between the towns, and another airport with Forest City being on the map. So I Ride For You, like I said, is something we're very passionate about, and we look forward to seeing who you're riding for on that day. All right, we're getting closer to my backyard. So leaving Iowa Falls, we will make our way to Cedar Falls. This day has 4 communities en route, 50 miles, 1,200 feet of climb with a max grade of 4%. Our first town out of the gate and the biggest miles distance between towns is 14.3 miles into Ackley. We will leave Ackley and head into Appleton, 10.6 miles. Parkersburg will be your meeting town for the day, which is 5.2 miles down the road from Applington, and then into New Hartford, which is 8.7 miles to end the day in Cedar Falls with 11.2 miles stretch into Cedar Falls. If you guys rode in 2021, this was the same exact route that we'll be taking again. So great roads. It's a true west to east ride. So if you get a good tailwind, you'll be able to fly. And the average distance right now is right at 10 miles. This is College Jersey Day, so we will be celebrating everything's UNI and Iowa and all the surrounding schools. But we'll be ending in a college community that night with Cedar Falls. All right, day 6, moving right along. 38.4 miles, the easiest day of the week. This will be the day that we actually go visit my hometown. Leave Cedar Falls in the morning, a 16.4-mile stretch into Dunkerton. They'll be the first town out of the gate. 10.5-mile stretch into Fairbank, and 11.5 miles into Owine. So an easy day. 1,100 feet of climb, max grade of 3.1%. The average distance between towns is a little bit more, 12.8%, but we will go past 2 airports. Leaving Cedar Falls, we'll go past Waterloo's airport, and as we make our way into Owine, we'll turn and go into Owine. But Owine is the town that I grew up in, and they are very excited to host you in July. All right, and like that, the week's almost over, and we are heading into day 7. If you're into elevation, this is the day for you. We will be making our way into Guttenberg via Owine. We'll leave Owine that morning, 7.3 miles into Stanley, 6.1 miles into Aurora, 5.6 miles into Lamont, 6.1 miles into Dundee to get to our meeting town of Edgewood at 12.7 miles. That first 30 miles is pretty flat. I think it has like 910 feet of climb. It's the next 30 miles that will get you with 1,400 feet of climb. So if you are a rider that has to catch shuttles, you need to be very on your game this day. And make sure that you get in, because that last stretch could bite you. Leaving Edgewood, you'll make your way to Garber, which is 12.4 miles, and you're truly in the elevation. And then you're 11.4 miles into Guttenberg. The good news is the last 2 miles going into Guttenberg is all downhill. So you'll be able to ride downhill all the way in. With all the towns that are en route this week or this day with 6, your average distance between towns is 8.8 miles. So the closest the towns will be stacked up all week, but it will be the hilliest day en route with 2,340 feet of climb and a max grade of 7.2%. There are some pretty gnarly downhills as we get closer to Guttenberg that we'll need to make sure we're careful on. A lot of twists and turns, but the scenery is beautiful, and then you'll pop out and see the river that you'll be dipping your tires in shortly. So as of right now, 406 miles, a little over 10,000 feet of climb, which is 8,000 less than last year. And one of the biggest hits that we're going to do is go into Minnesota. This team's very excited. I'm very excited about it. And based on what we've seen, sounds like Minnesota's pretty excited too. So we look forward to seeing you in July. Gravel. We are working on gravel right now. We plan to release gravel the first week of May. If you've been in the area that we're taking our bike route in, they've had a lot of snow. Ann and I were on the road I think 2 weeks ago, we had to go around a detour of construction, and we kind of got on the side of the road, and it was really soggy, and we kind of sunk in a little bit. So we're staying away from the gravel until it dries out before we go exploring, but there will be gravel options. As of right now, I have 7 days of gravel options, and stay tuned, but we might have a full day too. So we will give you gravel. For those that like gravel, know that it's optional. You don't have to ride it because it is optional, but we'll make sure we have routes for you every day.
Awesome. All right. So if you have questions, you can drop those in the Q&A, and we'll start answering some of the pre-submitted questions. Let's see here. All right. So we've gotten a lot of questions about logistics. So camping, RVs, shuttles, things like that. So Anne is going to kind of do a rundown of kind of general logistics, and that should hit a lot of those questions.
Yeah, so just kind of talking through what we have on that page. From a long-term parking perspective, Mr. Carshipper talked about it just a little bit, but Orange City and Guttenberg are going to have options for you guys for long-term parking. Both are live. Orange City went live today. Guttenberg went live last week. So if you are interested in booking your long-term parking spot in either of those communities, you'll go to ragbrai.com logistics, and there will be a long-term parking button right at the top that'll take you to those information, and then you can link off to the Orange City or Guttenberg to just reserve your spot. Once you reserve your spot for long-term parking, you are going to need to take a shuttle if you're in Guttenberg. So there are shuttle options also on the logistics page. So our charters, outside of obviously the amenities that they offer from a week-long rider perspective, also offer shuttles from varying parts of the state, and some of them outside of the state. So go ahead and click on that shuttle button. That'll take you to a list of charters that are offering shuttles for you. So whether you're coming from Des Moines, whether you're coming from Guttenberg, whether you're coming from Omaha, Sioux City, various places, you'll be able to pick and select where you need to come from, and then actually book your shuttle into Orange City. Obviously, Mr. Carshipper just spoke. That's a really great service, and I think will ease a lot of people's logistic plans. One of the hardest things to do is plan how to get to RAGBRAI and then how to get home. So they're going to be able to offer you something that we've never been able to offer before, and I think it's going to be a great resource for people. From a lodging perspective, a lot of different options when it comes to lodging. From a hotel perspective, if you were lucky enough to book a hotel, those have probably been sold out within the 20-mile radius of our overnight towns at this point. So what you'd be looking for is camping, housing. So most of the towns have their housing forms up at this point. So you can go onto our route page, you can click on our lodging on our logistics page, and actually fill out a form for each of our communities if you're looking for housing. So obviously, host communities are nice enough to open up their backyards and their homes to riders. Those folks in those communities are going to be accepting those applications. They're also accepting applications from their residents right now. So it is a lengthy process. Each town does it a little bit differently. So you're going to want to read the fine print pretty closely on those housing forms on how they're going to communicate with you in the timeline for that lodging. But you can get all that information on that click through right now on our logistics page. Towns have been working really hard on all those pieces. From a bike shipping perspective, we have a couple options for you. Pork Belly Ventures works with bike flights in order to get your bike shipped to you. So that went live this week as well. So if you are interested in shipping your bike, you will work through bike flights to purchase that shipping. It looks like it's about $200 one way to get a bike to us, and then $200 to get it back to your home. There is a fee because what Pork Belly will do for you is work with bike shops to get that assembled once it gets to their facility. And then they will, on the back end in Guttenberg, work to disassemble that bike, package it up, and then get it back to your home for you. So it takes the ease out of trying to get your bicycle with you. They'll do it for you. There is also a bike rental option. So if you don't want to bring your bike and the hassle of bringing that with you from out of state, we are partnering with Unlimited Biking. And they will have the option of rental, and they have several different variations depending on what kind of bicycle you want to bring with you. So you can hit that bike rental button. That'll take you to our special page specific to Unlimited Biking, and you can peruse all of their options. They also have a concierge service. So if you want to ship your bike to them, they will also handle taking your bike at their warehouse, bringing it with them to Iowa, and having you pick that up, and also then shipping it back to your home. So another ease of logistics for you with unlimited biking if you choose to go that route. From an RV perspective, RVs are one of the hardest things that our towns are working on right now from a logistics standpoint, just because of space and parking space in each community. So as they start to identify parking locations, some of those will be free. Some of those will be an upcharge if there's electric or if there's other utilities or amenities involved with those parking spots that they're reserving right now for you. So keep an eye on that spot. More information will be coming out from our towns as they get them secured. But you'll also see RV parking spots as we launch town maps, which will be closer to the end of June, early July, once all of their moving pieces and all their puzzle pieces are in place. But if you have any questions around logistics, this is the page that you want to go to. It'll answer the majority of your questions. Obviously, you can also reach out to us at info@ragbrai.com if you have additional questions. But this page will be your one-stop shop for figuring out how to get here and how to navigate once you're here.
Awesome. Thank you. Matt, question for you. On day 2, when we ride into Minnesota, is there a welcome to Minnesota sign along the route?
Yeah, there is. I actually had Ann like hanging out of the truck taking a picture of it on our last tour. So we could post it online, but yes, there will be. And then we're working with logistically how to make bigger signs to welcome riders back to Iowa when we come back too. But yes, there is. We'll post it somewhere here later. Did you give it to me? Do you know? Thank you.
I didn't give it to you.
It's somewhere, right?
I got it.
Yeah, we got it somewhere. Yep, there is one for sure though. I've seen
I
it.
had to I was feared for my life, but I have it.
Yeah.
The things, this is the level of service that is going into making.
Yep. Hanging out of a vehicle.
So there'll be lots of photo ops to market, check off another state on your list if you haven't been there yet. You know, I'm excited to check off another state on my list as we go through the ride. All right, I don't know who wants to answer this one because this is kind of a two-part question. Food, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks with 30,000 riders coming into the towns or whatever number we hit. How do the riders feed themselves? And then will there be vegetarian food options along the way?
What's that?
I can take it. So riders should be prepared with cash and card. When they come on the ride, both will be accepted at most food vendors. Each town will have food vendors in their community. So as Matt's talking about average distance between towns, you don't have to go that far this year to get to a town which will have food options for you. The way we look at towns is we look at them as a breakfast stop, a brunch stop, a lunch stop, or a snack and grab and go stop. So that's what they're looking at when it comes to food variations and food options as you roll into those communities. The other thing that you will find is on the route along the side of the road, there will be vendors that are set up within those counties. So you shouldn't want for food. It'll just be a matter of what your heart desires that day. But there should be plenty of food, plenty of pie, plenty of beer en route for you this year. And in addition to that, from a vegetarian option, you know, that's something that we ask towns to look for each year. And that's something that is getting better. But obviously pork reigns supreme in Iowa, so there's no shortage of pork here either. But we'll work to get more of those options for you as they become available. The other thing to look out for as towns start providing you information on the food vendors that are going to be in their community, you'll see a lot of local churches, the local organizations that are going to be providing meals and food for you. So ask that you really seek those out and see what's happening in each of those communities as it relates to their local food vendors.
Awesome. Hayden, I'm going to throw it to you. Can you talk a little bit about camping, showers, restrooms in host towns? We've already dived into the food subject, but since you've been working on this, Hayden's been working with charters in the towns to find all these different areas and get things situated. So have that get to the mic'd up computer.
Yeah, had to switch spots a little bit, but yeah, of course. So in the host towns, they're all working really hard on getting everybody situated with campground spaces. Most of those are determined. They're working on placing some of our charters. They're working on shower vendors, which will go out in May with Corey, and our shower and toilet vendors to make sure we have those locations locked down. The real sticking points to get there are hydrants and sanitation. But other than that, have a good plan in place between both the showers that RAGBRAI provides, as well as the showers that the charters provide. Some of them may only service their group, but some of them will take people that are not part of their charter just based on proximity and campground locations. Same with porta toilets and kaibos. RAGBRAI will provide a lot of those around the main campground, and then the town and charters will also provide those in the expo areas, in their charter camping locations, down by the main stage entertainment, all those different things. So a lot of those logistics are being figured out as we speak. But as we get closer to the ride, each of those towns, keep an eye on their websites, and they will be sure to make sure they're posting those details for you.
Thank you. All right, couple of logistics questions again. I know we talked a little bit about shuttles. I'll just touch on this. Are there outfitters that offer a ride back to your vehicle if you're only planning to ride a day or 2 or 3 consecutive days? Yes, that would be something where you'd want to consider looking at the charters. A lot of the charters will offer shuttle services, and some of them will have packages where it'll split it up into days. So go take a look on our charter page on our website for all of the official charters that we partner with, and then see out of those which would offer the services if you're riding the first 2 or 3 days or the latter 2 or 3 days, and they should be able to help you out. Erica, for new folks who are, just kind of getting the lay of the land with RAGBRAI now the full route is out, can you do a quick rundown of what registration includes for everybody?
Yeah, of course. So registration, it includes access to the route. You know, we have provided, Matt has worked in all of these towns. One of the biggest safety aspects of it is we have ambulance and state patrol on route. So if any accident happens, ambulance will come take care of you, take you to the nearest hospital, get you all situated, patch you up on route if you need it. And then let's say you have to go to a hospital. Part of the registration is that our SAG services will come and pick up your bicycle and make sure that's safe. We, in some cases, have kept that bike all the way till the end until we can reunite it with its owner. And then we also offer SAG services on the ride. So SAG is something that if you cannot complete the ride for any reason, whether that be mechanical or medical, that we will pick you and your bicycle up from the side of the road and take you into either that meeting town so you can get your bike fixed by one of the official bike shops, or take you into that overnight town so you can get some rest and recuperation so you continue your journey on for the rest of the week. Some of the more fun things RAGBRAI Services offers, like if you're a week-long rider, you get the week-long rider patch, all of those credentials that come with your wristband. One of the peace of mind things that it includes is our luggage service. So when you sign up for RAGBRAI, you are allotted a 150-pound bag that we will transport from overnight town to overnight town. So you bring us your bag in the morning between the hours of 5 and 8 a.m. We'll put it on the baggage truck for you. When you get to that next overnight town, we will have that already unpacked, and it will be arranged by kind of what time frame you brought it, as well as accessibility into the main campground. So if you purchase your registration, your wristband, that includes you camping in the overnight towns every week or every day, excuse me. And then if you add on that vehicle pass, that gives your vehicle admittance into the campground. So it's kind of a rough overview. If you have any other registration questions, feel free to email me at erica@ragbrai.com, or our info is info@ragbrai.com.
Thank you. And then if you have a team who's sharing driving duties, how would they register if you've got some riders rotating through who drives?
So depending on the quantity of days, that's kind of how you want to look at it. So if you are only riding one day and you're going to drive the rest of the days, it's going to be much cheaper for you to buy 1 day pass and then the rest a week-long non-rider pass. If you're a team of 6 people and everybody's taking a different day riding, it's going to be much more cost effective for you all just to buy your week-long rider pass, because that also covers the non-rider aspect of it. So kind of looking at what day options you're going to do. And if you have any questions about what is covered, feel free to email us. And then just make sure whatever vehicle you're bringing includes a vehicle pass. So that vehicle will cover, or that vehicle pass will cover the vehicle no matter who the driver is. We also want to make sure that driver is registered, whether it's a week-long rider wristband or week-long non-rider wristband or any assortment of day wristbands.
Perfect. All right. Training. AP, I'm going to let you, I think, give you all of these. For someone who is physically active and loves biking, but doesn't do it often, what kind of training do you recommend prior to doing this ride? For example, how far in advance should I start training?
Well, you should be training now if possible. And if you haven't started training, you should start tomorrow. I highly recommend that you go to ragbrai.com/training. We have a whole training plan built out for you that you can follow, and a lot of blogs with different advice about how to train and how to get into RAGBRAI, how to get ready for RAGBRAI. It's not too late to start. Ideally, you would have already started, but it's not too late. You can get going now. Indoor or outdoor, whatever works for you this time of year.
Easy peasy. That's the only training question that we had. So
well, we will have
training
training
now.
blogs every week or every other week, all the way up until the ride. So keep checking that page if you want. If you're new to RAGBRAI, new to cycling, we'll have a lot of good advice from. We have our coach Ertl, who has been doing the training blogs for over 15 years. And we have a brand new coach, Coach Aaron Oliphant, who works on our customer service team, brings a little bit different perspective to it. So it's kind of cool to have two different professional advices on our website.
Awesome. All right, one more logistics question, and then we'll take any others, or we'll take a couple more from the chat. So a logistics question. What's the ideal setup for a couple of riders? Does a support van make sense?
Yes and no. It depends on the size of the van. If it's a small caravan, sure, I think that makes a lot of sense. Bringing in, big box vans, probably not so much. It's just harder to navigate. But then you have to look at who's driving it. Are you taking turns? Sometimes small vehicles are just easier to navigate once you're in the towns. So if you can stay away from the big van, it just makes things a little bit easier for you long term.
And RAGBRAI really is pick your own adventure.
Absolutely.
And then Matt, had a couple people they missed or you didn't share. We'll leave it up for discussion. Max grades or gradient on day 2 and day 4.
Max grade day 2, 3.7%. Max grade on day 4, 3.3. Nothing terrible.
Not scary at all.
Still train.
And start training tomorrow if you haven't already started. All right. I'm just making sure that we haven't missed anything.
Laura, I missed saying something.
Oh, go
when I
ahead.
was talking about training, I should have recommended my very own podcast, the Just Go Bike podcast, where we talk about a lot of tips for newbies. I'm the co-host along with Kathy Murphy, experienced riders, hopefully give you some good tips about training and riding in all the towns and what you can expect on the ride. So just wanted to throw that in there.
Excellent. And I'll have to give my own plug. I listened to several of the Just Go Bike podcast episodes last year going into RAGBRAI, so that I would know what to expect while working my first RAGBRAI. So 10 of 10 can recommend from an operations side and then from a rider side. Paul, can you drop a question in the chat, please? There should be a Q&A box for you there. And while we get that. All right, from Team Bob, can you speak more to camping and reserving sites? So what's our timeline for charters or teams getting in town posting or camps, sorry.
Hayden's on his way over. 1 second.
musical chairs.
So as I mentioned earlier, towns are working on solidifying their campsite spaces, finding those green spaces that are going to work for us, solidifying the main campground, the quiet campground, and then kind of your charter campgrounds and overflow for teams and general riders. So right now we've got the main campground solidified in each town. That will be for anybody that is a RAGBRAI rider that's registered with us, that is open for you to be able to camp in. And then our charters have specified spaces for their big groups to make sure that their footprint's taken care of. And then on May 1st, we'll kind of transition to starting to place some of the teams, depending on what size you are. So you may get placed ahead of time. And if you're only a team of 10 to 15, you might roll into the town and you just find an open green space that's going to be available for you. So it really just kind of depends on the logistics. If anybody has any questions on that further, you can email me at hayden@ragbrai.com, and we can help get those answers solidified well before July so that everybody feels comfortable as they roll into the overnight town.
Great. All right. For riders, kind of splitting the week, if we're getting dropped off on day 3, should we get dropped off at the campground and start day 4? Basically camp the night before and then ride out day, ride out day 4.
Yep, that makes the most sense. There was a question in the chat about, the files coming to you guys. So from now till basically June, we are constantly fine tuning the route. Once you receive the GPX files and you download the route, you'll see starting points and ending points in every town. So I would go right to that starting point and ride out directly from there. Some of these shorter days, we've talked to the towns about, you're going to see an influx of people just getting dropped off. So having spots where we can tell riders to drop their cyclists off to make it easy. Once we know them, they'll be online too.
Awesome. Let's see. And I think this is, I think I'm interpreting this correctly. Is a single or 2-man team okay? So can you create a team with 1 or 2 people?
I think 2's the minimum for a team.
Yeah.
Or otherwise you're solo.
We'll take it. All right, we'll do just a couple more because we're getting close to our hour. Can you share about charging stations? Also, what options for water?
Yep, so I can do both. Charging stations will be limited. A lot of times you're going to be in main campgrounds in nature, so there's not just ports everywhere. You will also see spots where when you're in towns, a lot of the outlets are full of chargers, so just be smart. Bringing portable chargers with you that are small, can fit in the pocket, are good. It's always good to from a cell phone standpoint, turn it off so it's not constantly just roaming all day, draining your battery, and only use it when you absolutely need it. As far as water goes, every town will have water for you. We're working with the towns to do a better job of signing it so that you know where it's at. Because when your town gets flooded with people, it's hard to see the hookup. So usually what happens is as you come into the town, they have a water spot for you to fill up. And as you leave town, they'll have a water spot for you to fill up. So always make sure before you leave a town, you have water bottles full for the next stretch. As we talk, the average just between towns is 10 miles. You don't want to run out of water on a hot day. So just make sure your bottles are filled before you leave, but you'll be able to see those as you come into town and as you leave.
Right. And then e-bike charging stations while we're talking about charging things.
Same thing. They're kind of going to be few and far between. So just keep that in mind. We recommend, buying extra batteries so you can change out your batteries. It is a flatter route. So use that eco mode. Don't be flying full turbo all week and draining that battery because it will be, like I said, it will be a flatter route. But yeah, those will be few and far between across the state too.
And I would mention too, a lot of the charters may be able to offer e-bike charging on a regular basis, have guaranteed charging for you. So that may be something to look at to make sure that you do stay charged up. And a lot of them will list their amenities on their different pages. So it isn't just like a one size fits all. A lot of them will do many different things. So definitely look at those and see which ones would offer that service. Right. And all right, I'm gonna go around the room to our crew and ask, which is your favorite theme day and why? So Matt, I'm gonna start with you because you're the first one that I see.
Perfect. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate that very much. I Ride for Day is a day that means a lot to me. I was diagnosed with MS, and to have this day and have riders that ride for me and for that disease is pretty incredible. So I will say I Ride for Day is the one that I'm looking forward to.
All right, Hayden, well, it's gonna be musical chairs. Oh, already there. Hayden was the next
ready.
window, but you're already there.
I'm gonna go with college jersey theme day, considering I was recently working in college football operations, so I'm tied in with quite a few around the country and excited to see all the jerseys that are shown across Iowa that week.
And I'm just going to piggyback right off of that with him because I was going to say the same thing. College Jersey Day is my favorite day of the week too. That picture that was actually in that slide was a picture I took on the ride back in the day. It was at one of the morning stops, and it was a Wine on Wheels stop, and they got everybody together to take a picture of anybody that was wearing a college jersey, and I was blown away by all the different jerseys that were in that picture. We'll have to share that on social again. There's so many different colleges and universities and everything, and it's just really cool. And the funny thing about it is I'm an Iowa State fan, and I'm surrounded by Iowa fans here.
Go Hawks.
But it's good fun banter, and you get the good fun banter on the ride too. It's a love-hate thing, but it's a lot of fun. In the end, it's just a bunch of good fun banter.
That's right.
All right, AP.
AP.
I'll go next.
Okay.
We're musical chairs here today. My favorite is going to be day 3, which is the throwback jersey day, because I've been around RAGBRAI since 2013, and I love seeing some of those jerseys you don't see very much, or like especially old jerseys that people wear maybe because it's their first RAGBRAI or one of their favorite they've ridden, and really love being able to pick that out in the crowd.
You.
Day 3 is also mine, but it's for the Karis Loop. So when I was introduced to RAGBRAI in 2018, my job was to hand out passes at the Karis Loop. And I think seeing people excited about taking on a century, whether it's the first time they've ever done it, whether it's they've done it every year. I think in 2018 and 2019, John was there. And that was a really cool experience to see people interact with John, one of the founders of the ride. And so that would be my favorite.
All right, batter up. I was going to say day 7, which is Tire Dip Day, because it's a really emotional, special day, but it's a little bit of a cop-out. So I'm going to go with day 6, which is Hometown Pride Day, Hometown Jersey Day, because I have a lot of pride for my hometown, which is Coralville, Iowa. It's a really awesome community if you've never been there. They're also pretty well connected to Iowa City, so go Hawkeyes.
Well, I was going to take that one. So I was also going to say Hometown State Jersey Day. As one of the out-of-staters, it's always cool seeing how many different North Carolina states I can pick out amongst the crowd. But also the fact that there are so many people from all over the world who come and ride. Just the fact that you can show that off, that you have everybody all together in one place, united by bikes, is pretty special. All right, Anne, I'm going to throw it over to you to wrap this up for this evening. And then just as a reminder, we will put this on YouTube so you can share it with your friends. You can go back and rewatch and get all the good info. And we thank you for joining us. But Anne, to you.
So Matt mentioned that we're sitting in Forest City, and we've been with the pastor towns who were just announced today. Matt and I have had the pleasure of meeting them ahead of being with them in this space, and we'll be with them tomorrow as well. And just want to say that I think one of the things that makes this ride so special are the people of Iowa, and the inclusivity of the ride as it relates to bringing people from all walks of life, all 50 states, 20 countries into the state to experience our hospitality. So it's important to us for you to know that the mission of the ride is really to bring people together on and off the bicycle. And we're doing that by fostering relationships, not just with you, but with the towns. And we are creating an experience in a ride where we want everyone to feel safe. And so when we say safe, we mean safe from a the safety on the bike, safe for your personal being, but also respected and included. So that's our number one goal, is to create that experience for you and to foster that as we bring you across the state of Iowa. I can tell you that we still believe in our fellow Iowans to do that for you. They get as much gratification meeting you and sharing their stories with you and hearing your stories as you get from them. And so as we continue to build out the ride for this year, I want you to know that that's still top of mind for us, that everyone's welcome on this ride. Everyone will feel welcome on this ride and respected on this ride. That's the number one goal we have. It's a mission of RAGBRAI to make sure that everyone is welcome, feels great when they're with us, and we create a world-class experience for you. And so if you have questions about that or you're concerned about that, please reach out to us directly. You can email me at anna@ragbrai.com, but just know that that is the number one priority we have as we're building this community and this ride this year for you.
All right. Thank you, Ann. All right. We'll see you all on May 1st for our May Town Hall. We'll get that registration set up in the next couple of days. And share more kind of about obviously what's going on behind the scenes, how to get ready on your end, answer questions, and then share more about some of the RAGBRAI programs and initiatives like RAGBRAI Gives, our Honor Flight partnership, and different things like that. So we hope you'll join us for more behind the scenes and Q&A. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.